Hey, welcome to Integrated Preparedness. I'm Steve Smith. Welcome to all the new people. Welcome to all the old people. Welcome to everybody on YouTube and everybody on Patreon. I want to talk about some lessons today. Have you all watched that series Yellowstone with Kevin Costner? Kelly and I just got done watching that. Finished up with the 4th season, right? I don't watch TV or movies very much at all. I can't remember the last thing that I watched. But we did watch this. Even Kelly got wrapped up in it. I want to talk about that. Do you hear the birds? This one's been chattering around. I like it. This is to tick off a couple other people out here, while the rest of us kind of sit back and watch in amusement. The first one is the guy that's going to say, "Hi, you just talked for the first 2 minutes about stuff. You didn't even get to the point of the video for, whatever." Well, see, this is one of the points of the video, is that's you, partner. And that is that if you're so rude and impolite that you would say something like that, instead of just tuning off if you don't like it, you're going to be gone anyway. The second one is the one that says, "I couldn't hear you from the birds. The birds were so loud it just drove me nuts. I had to turn it off after 3 minutes. Just couldn't stand it. Do something about those birds." And I've had both of those kind of asshats make comments on here. So I'll address that one too, while the rest of the good folks around here just chuckle. And that is, you're watching a preparedness channel. And what are we prepared for? Horrible things, right? Horrible things, end of the world, all that kind of stuff. And you think that you can handle that if you can't handle the chirping of a bird? Okay. So you can either unsubscribe or take care of yourself, or just click off right now and go watch some kittens, or I'll be happy to do it for you when I see your comment. Now, we've got that taken care of. Now to all the good people out there, whether I almost said good Americans, Canadians, Aussies, Europeans, I don't care where you are, all the good people out there who are just normal folks, okay? So back to Yellowstone. We got done. I first started watching Yellowstone when the first season came out. And this will kind of give you an idea of where I'm coming from on it. I watched it. I liked it because I like horses and mountains. Okay, I used to have horses. I used to have a bunch of horses, then became a big city cop and didn't have time and had to sell them. And, life happens, and we're headed back in that direction here pretty soon. But anyway, I like horses. I like the ranch life. I like mountains. I like that big house they live in, right? Everything like that. Couldn't stand most of the characters. Oh my God. And if you've watched it, you know what I'm talking about, right? I almost didn't want to watch it after the first season. As a matter of fact, I stopped watching it. Or did I? I guess I also watched some of the second season, and then, but I watched it by myself. I didn't watch it with Kelly or anything like that. And I kind of wished that, I remember wishing that I could show it to her because she'd love the house, because that's kind of our style. No, I'm not going to build one like that. I mean, I'd like to, right? But chances are I won't. But something of that nature, that's kind of what we're looking at down the road, and I want her to see the house, but never got around to showing her. And those of you who have just watched the first season or two can understand what I'm about to say, is that I liked a few of the characters. I liked Costner's character. I liked Rip. I liked Lloyd. Let's see if there's anybody else I liked. Can't think of any. A couple of the Wranglers, they were just, they were all right. But I mean, the rest of them, you talk about a messed up bunch of people, right? Oh my God. A dysfunctional family that would make the average dysfunctional family blush. So, I couldn't get with those people, except that I did enjoy the immediate and corrective justice that happened, usually at the hands of John and Rip. Well, I forget what made Kelly be interested in it, and I hadn't given her another thought, but sometime back she asked, "You ever watch Yellowstone?" I said, "Yeah," and I told her what I thought about it, and she said, well, she'd like to watch it, so we did. And she went to the library, because we're frugal, and she checked out all the seasons. I guess we watched a couple of, that doesn't matter. And so we started watching it, and she really liked it too. So we have just completed the 4th season, which I think is, I guess we're up to speed now, right? I guess the 5th season's coming out sometime this year. And we have come to like a couple of the other characters, because the guy that put this together, Taylor Sheridan, some ice just came crashing off the house across the street. Mean Springs here. Taylor Sheridan, he kind of does in this series what I do in my books, and that's I don't answer everything right away, right? Some things get answered in the 3rd book, the 4th book, where the question was asked in the 1st book. People ask the questions. Well, he does the same thing, and so he showed us not all, but he showed us a lot of the problems with some of the characters in the first couple of books, and then we got to see some of the backstory, and some of the characters kind of grew on us. Beth really grew on Kelly, and I like her too. And what's that kid's name? Casey the Seal. I mean, he started out as one messed up boy, which is understandable. I mean, I know guys that have come back from that and they're messed up. And hatred for father mixed with love and all sorts of things. But Kelly asked me after it was over, she said, "Do you think that Yellowstone will bring back manliness to America, the world?" And I said, "Well, I don't know. It'd be nice, wouldn't it? It would be nice. I don't have much hopes of that, except that perhaps it has fortified some who are kind of on the cusp, who have been trying to survive in a world that thrives on meetings and political correctness. It kind of gives them a touchstone, like John Wayne movies used to, about life, when being a victim just doesn't help you. Right now, like we've said in past videos, being a victim is how you get ahead in today's world. Well, try to be a victim in a culture like they portray in Yellowstone, and I mean, you're gonna victim your way right out of the house, the family, or maybe maybe to the train station, right? And those of you who have watched it know what I mean when I say that. And it's not a real train. That'd be nice. I doubt it will happen, because she read me. She got on a couple of sites, and this is for that moron who made the comment the other day. Watching this is like watching Grandpa sit back and talk. That's right, son. And if you'd listened to your grandpa a little bit more, you might have learned something, especially not to be rude, because we have good people here on this channel, and you're insulting them, and they don't want to hear from you either. So listen to your grandpa. What was I saying? Grandpa's got a leaky brain, doesn't he? Anyway, is it gonna help? Like I said, okay, what I was saying, it might get some foundation and some redirection for a lot of the people who say, well, I can't get along in this world because it's all PC. I have to be a victim. I have to, at least act like a victim. I can't stand up for myself, or I'll get fired. I will lose my livelihood. Well, some of us went ahead and lost our we haven't lost our livelihoods because we do other things. will we stop being involved in the corporate culture that rewards BS and punishes some standing up for what's right? Anyway, what I found interesting in this was the lesson from Yellowstone. If it all goes to pot, if it all goes to hell, if we had an EMP or whatever, crash, do you think those people in Yellowstone would curl up in a ball? No, because what they've done, and I know they rely on cell phones and all that. Don't get into that. I'm talking in the broader area. They are self-sufficient, not just in what they have, but in what they are. And I think that's a lesson that a lot of people, not you all, certainly, you all are fine, but that a lot of other people need to understand that self-sufficiency begins who you are, what you are, not what you have, but what you are. And what I particularly enjoyed was that it reflected a lifestyle that I used to be a part of, and that was a lifestyle that included immediate correction for bad behavior. If a person, kind of like we do here, if somebody gets a little bit rude, I get rid of them. So it includes immediate correction for inappropriate behavior. And most of the young men nowadays, and young women, have not been raised to know how to act properly. That's one of the reasons we have problems in our country and our society, our culture. And when they are corrected, they get all buttered. So many of you were involved in much the same situations that I was. And that is, if you step out of line, correction was applied, and it was applied to the extent necessary to make sure the behavior wasn't repeated. You all know what I'm talking about, right? I welcome your comments down there. So Yellowstone talks about, and it reflects hard work, it reflects responsibility, it reflects how people who need to grow up are made to grow up or are otherwise dealt with. It also illuminates the importance and the bedrock foundation of family. Now, like I say, this you couldn't find much more. I know there are some out there, but you couldn't find much more of a dysfunctional family than, what are their names? Duttons. Yeah, that's their character's name, the Duttons. But as things get worse and worse and worse, and harder and harder and harder, got some in mind, we see how, and I know it's a movie, I know, but art reflects life, right? Sadly, the reason that our country has evolved is because life has started reflecting art. But art should reflect life, and in this case it does. It shows the evolution of this dysfunctional family into a more functional family. When you're dealing with family, you're dealing with things that go way back, and sometimes are carried way forward. And they're allowed to fester and, moan, all that kind of stuff, because we live in an easy society. And nobody is threatened with, extinction. It's not a life and death situation. When the family, or when people truly are threatened, like in an SHTF situation, and I don't mean that somebody can't pay their bills, I mean a real one. Sometimes families come back together, but they can't come back together with the same old problems. that finally a life and death situation kind of removes all that BS through which people have looked through over the years. And they say, well, all that BS I was looking through all those years and being butthurt and thinking I was a victim and woe is me and my whoever, in my family just, all of a sudden that stuff kind of can, not always will, but can kind of go by the wayside. And then what people really are might surface. Now, some people, what they really are when it surfaces, it's the same thing as the way that they've been acting all their life, right? In which case, well, they're going to continue not working out. But other people, that might make them see the importance of what's really important. Let me put it that way. And they stop bitching and moaning and griping and whining and everything like that. They might grow up. They might stand up and be a decent man or woman and say, guess I'd better square myself away. So there's a lot of other lessons in Yellowstone. Or as my kids will say, Dad, it's not Yellowstone, it's Yellowstone. Well, not from not where I'm from. It's Yellowstone. There's a lot of lessons in there, but the main lesson is that when things really are, life and death, people trying to take away how you make your living, people trying to take away what you've worked for all your life and generations of your family have. There's not much you won't do to keep it safe. And you need to be in a position to be able to do that. And it also speaks to what I think too many people don't think about today, and that is multi-generational security. Now, most people will say multi-generational wealth. Well, wealth can be security, but I'm going to say multi-generational security. And that is where a family works to secure their safety and their future and for future generations. And way too often in our country, and I don't know what it's like in Australia, Canada, probably the same all around the world, we have too many people that figure that every generation just needs to start over again. It's one of those, well, I did it, he can do it, I ain't giving my kids nothing. And then the kids say, my daddy never gave me nothing. And I'm gonna let my kids scratch and everything and make it on their own just like I did. Well, okay, I get the fact that they're arguing from this, well, but if you give kids everything, they're gonna be soft. There are a lot of families out there to where the parents and then the grandparents that went on back, they worked for a foundation for a family going forward. They didn't turn out soft. Up to you what you want to do, but I'm not here to tell anybody what to do. I know what I do, and but there's lessons there. The lessons are many. I guess I won't go to any more. If you watch it, get your own lessons. I think there's a lot of them. I think it's a great series. There's a lot of stuff in there that just wouldn't happen, or wouldn't happen the way that it happens. But the lessons are there, and the lessons are there for people to reflect on individually and say, yeah, I see what's going on there. I see what's going on there, and I see how it applies to living life in a way to where the rules are understood and people are expected to produce, to be productive, and expected to be loyal, and expected to fight for their family, their tribe, their whatever. So let me know what you think. I just thought that was an interesting thing when Kelly asked, "Do you think the Yellowstone will bring back manliness?" I doubt it, but it just spun off into a whole lot of other things for me, so I thought I'd share it. I'd be interested to hear what you all have to say. You know, I know a lot of you on here, a lot of you, have a lot to say about this. I look forward to seeing it, and I think that it can help a lot of other people that stumble on this video and say, it's not just Grandpa saying this stuff. These other people are too, and a lot of them will say, well, they're just mean old codgers, you know. But some youngsters might learn, so let's do it for them. All right, leave your comments down there. I'm gonna make one over in just a second. Texas Rangers pulled a raid down in Houston, down in Harris County, today or yesterday. I'm going to be talking about that also over on. I think I'm just going to put it over on American Reversion, because it really has to do with kind of things that are going on today politically. And before anybody comes on here and dumps your Wikipedia knowledge and telling about the one riot, one ranger story, myth, legend, hold your keyboard, because I'm going to tell the truth about it over on American Reversion. You all have a good day. Remember that we prepare well today in order to live well tomorrow. Looking forward to your comments. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.